Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, my name's Benson. What's yours? Cool thing, my mom bought a quick, what's this thing called? Look, hang on. It's called a Power Quick Pot for my grandmother who didn't want it. So she asked me if I wanted it. So I was like, yeah, sure, because you can can in it and you can pressure cook and stuff in it. So I want to get into canning. I know we talked about like on the grape video how I was going to get into canning. But the coolest thing I found out is this joker's got a sous vide option. So I'm going to show it to you. I have already got it set up. Basically, you put 10 cups of water inside the middle pot. The middle pot goes in it, and then you hit sous vide, pick your meat, set your temperature and your time. So I'm doing beef. I'm doing a round eye roast, boneless. So got it beef. I got it 135, and I'm gonna let it go for 20 hours. And basically, the way sous vide works is it cranks the water temperature up to the exact temperature you want the meat to cook at, and then it can cook that meat to that temperature and maintain that meat, never going higher, never going lower for the entire duration of the cook, which means you can cook a steak at 135 for 2 hours, pull it out, dry it off, pan sear it real high for a minute on each side, and you've got a perfectly cooked medium rare steak. Me personally, I like it a little bit more on the rare side, but with Kristen, we're gonna go a little bit higher. But it's pretty easy to set up from what I can tell, and you don't have to put the lid on it or anything like that, but I'm gonna show it to you. All right, so this is what it looks like. So basically you hit sous vide, and then it gives you the list of all the meats, and it even has an egg option. So if you like sous vide eggs from Starbucks, thank you. There's an option on here. You can do it in mason jars, but they do make a silicone mold. I'm gonna try it in mason jars first in another video. So sous vide, set your temperature and your time. Now, the book says to set the temperature to 136, but this dial only lets me go up and down by 5 degrees. So I set it to the closest, which is 135. But again, you've got the slow cook option, the bake option, all this other stuff, but I don't have vacuum seal bags, which is what normally sous vide uses, but I've seen it done with Ziploc bags. So I've squeezed as much of the air out of this bag as I can. My round eye roast is in there with some rosemary and some garlic greens, and then I've got like a taco seasoning on the roast, and then there's some olive oil in there. So basically I've got this guy set to go for 20 hours, and so what it'll do is it'll get that meat to 135, and then it will just go, it'll just cook at that 135 temperature for 20 hours. I do have some steaks that I'm probably gonna set in beside it later. Those only take about 2 hours to cook. You can make like cakes and stuff in it, I guess. You can perfectly cook eggs and stuff, supposedly. I'm gonna learn how to sous vide some boiled eggs, because I like boiled eggs where the yolk is still runny, but it's like a thick pudding almost. So we'll get, I'll do some more videos with it when I test it out. You know me, I like to cook, so. But I wanted to show you that real quick. I'll let you know how it comes out. We'll probably eat it tomorrow for dinner, but I will show you the steaks once I get those sous vided and then pan fried. I will tell you, if you get into sous viding and you want to buy a sous vide machine, just the machine, they're pretty cool. I really want one, but now that I have this, if it works, I'm not worried about it. When the meat first comes out, it doesn't look appetizing because it's got this gray boiled flavor, even though the water's never touched it. That's why you dry it off and pan sear it so it gets that nice, like crispy texture. A lot of restaurants do that now, is they sous vide their meats. You can sous vide fish, you can sous vide pork, chicken. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited. I can't wait to try the egg bites. I love the sous vide egg bites from Starbucks. So I'm excited to try those. And then, I don't know, maybe we'll bake a cake in it or something. I'll make a sugar-free cheesecake in it, who knows. All right, remember I told you when they come out of the sous vide, they're not gonna look pretty. So they're gonna have like a gray, almost sickly color to them. And what's gonna happen is we're gonna dry these off and then pan fry them. So, but these guys have been cooking in about 2-3 hours at 135 consistently. And now we're just gonna finish them off in the pan. All right, got them dried off. I mean, you can see they still look a little red, but I mean, they're, you know, they're medium well, maybe a little rare in some spots, but they're super tender filling. So, but the pan's gonna finish all that off. So, got my trusty cast iron with a little bit of butter in it, a little bit of ghee, and we're waiting for it to get hot. All right, so I'm gonna take my first bite of my sous vide steak. I've let it rest for about 5 minutes. It's got good color on it. Just gonna go right here at the end. All right, let's see how it works. It's got a good chew to it. It's got good flavor. You can tell that that's sous vide because it sat in the olive oil and the salt and the rosemary for so long that it just like absorbed that flavor through through the entire piece of meat. It's just absorbed into it. And it chews beautifully as far as like texture and stuff goes. It's got a great bite to it. It's super, super moist, super juicy. And then that pan sear right there after it's done gives it a little bit of a crispy exterior and adds a new level of flavor to the whole thing. So that's really good. I enjoy this. I'm gonna probably play around with this sous vide a little bit more. I'm gonna order maybe some sous vide egg bite molds, or maybe even do them in a mason jar. But so far it's really good. This is our round eye that's been sous videing for about 20 hours. You can see all the juice coming off of it. This will make probably a really good beef broth. But I'm gonna get this out, dry it off, and we'll take a look at it. All right, there it is. I mean, it's got a good brown roast color to it, so you could probably slice that and then eat it as is. But I think I'm gonna hit it on all the sides, give it a little bit of crisp on the exterior. I'm gonna pat it dry real quick, and then we'll put it in a pan and show you what it looks like afterwards. There's our final product. Looks good. Still feels very like medium rare-ish. When you push on it, it's got plenty of bounce to it. So I'm gonna let it rest for a few minutes, and then we'll slice it open. All right, look at that. Still a little pink on the inside. Very tender. It feels very tender. I'm gonna have a piece real quick. All right, let's give this a shot. It's good. It's moist. It's got good flavor. Tastes great. It's pretty awesome. I want to really enjoy the sous videing with this machine. I'll have to show you some other stuff as I try the machine itself out though, but it's pretty awesome.